But UFC, you still got Dana fronting it, and now they're talking about 4th of July. Do you know where that card's going to be?
Where?
On the White House lawn. I you not. And people didn't believe it at first.
Can't I just have a break? Can't I just have one break?
Who goes to more UFC shows that you know in the last year than anybody else? Trump. Like he's there at all the big shows.
I'm sorry. Do we really need that on the lawn of the White House?
You're drunk.
So we've now had Street Fest. We just ordered a bunch of new shirts. And this guy, for some reason, worked at Bar John or with David for Street Fest. He had never been there. He was like, that was amazing. The neighborhood was so cool. So that leads us to, wow, Restaurant Week is coming up. A couple weeks. That's brand new to Manayunk. Brand new to what they call the club up the street. Restaurant. We're supposed to bring in fall dishes, advertise it like that. We're not being advertised, and that I've already saw the advertisements and we're not listed. It's okay, but it's cool because Delco always has. What's it called? Stroll the Stars. Under
We
the
have
Stars.
Dining Under the Stars.
Dining Under the Stars. Media.
Yeah, media from May through September. It's their summer. Yeah.
They do it that long?
They do. They close down the street every Wednesday.
They close down
State Street
every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday from May through, they may have actually expanded into October. Just because so many of them with the weather, they get canceled or they don't have a great turnout because it's 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
And the objective is to not have people sit inside in the restaurant. It's to everyone sit in the streets together.
And you're allowed to
it.
carry drinks out of a restaurant or bar, do you know?
Yeah, I believe even like drinks that get served to tables are served in plastic so
they
that you can get
leave
up
on
and
the
walk
street.
away. Yeah.
Same thing here, like on Street Fest, Arts Fest.
And the greater Philadelphia area does. Like West Philly has their own in University City. Center City has theirs. Each part of Philly has their own. It just seems like Manayunk's a little late to the show.
Well, yeah. Well, they're doing some type of sips thing too. I don't even know what that nonsense. But again, today is August 21st, maybe.
21st.
And we're just finding this nonsense out.
Now we're trying to mirror Center City sips.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
There's nothing, but there's something so... And I will say, as someone who's been to Center City Sips and had always thought it was very overrated, it's a very different feel down in the city that day. You have the roller skating rink. Like, families are out. It's just a different feel to the city that you're not really used to down at, like, JFK and 15th. It's more family-friendly, but it's also just young college kids not being drunk and stupid. It's only from 4 to 6. It's nice. It's fun. But, I mean...
So, I don't know what this is going to entail per se, other than making some fall dishes. You and I just walking here tonight. When I mentioned it to you, I told you maybe some of your type of chili that you make, which is awesome. The taco dip, which comes from our family. Did I mention something? Oh, you know what Mecca mentioned? And I can't say it right, of course. Birria, whatever. Empanadas.
The birria empanadas.
Birria, yeah. So Saturday, here's some good news. Saturday, we're experimenting.
Okay.
You're not opening the bar. You're in GMing that day. But yeah, so we can experiment. Because another cool thing that we have coming up, which I'm so excited about, is here we are. We're filming Thursday, August 21st. And literally the 25th, everybody's back to school. The seniors are back. We've been in contact with a lot of them. And it's syllabus week.
It's syllabus week. Speaking of colleges, I know you were sports is the background a lot of the times. Did you hear about what happened at Villanova today?
I forgot about it. I know that supposedly there was an active shooter.
It was a hoax.
Oh.
Someone called it in, active shooter, someone's been shot. It was a hoax. On the way here, they were just opening up the Villanova exit on the Blue Route.
Are they back at school yet, do you know?
Today,
Nova?
This week. Today was the freshman's move-in day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I saw on the news, I think it was last night, there was a move-in day.
Today was freshman
somewhere
move-in
else.
day. at Nova.
Gotcha.
And so in the middle of freshman mass, out on like the quad or whatever, someone called in an active shooter.
How uncool is it to do that to the Pope's college?
And that's probably why someone did it. That's probably why someone did it.
I hadn't even thought about the Pope till just now.
That's probably why someone did it. It's, we have a Pope from Villanova. Let's just do something. I
don't want to blame the Catholic.
I mean,
people.
It's hard enough being
sent from a Catholic, high school guy.
It's hard
but
enough.
I don't want to put that on any. Clearly it's a nut job.
Yeah.
But I don't know what religion they were.
Hard enough being a freshman in college, moving in. Hard enough being a parent, leaving your kid on freshman move-in day, and now you have an active shooter.
And I'm trying to
active shooter.
And I'm sitting here trying to say to you, oh, but it'll be cool when they graduate. It'll be their first memory. No. That's a sucky first memory.
I remember it was my senior year at Temple. There had been another college shooting that not long before it, and all of a sudden on one of those like QAnon like online boards, someone threatened to bomb Temple. And Temple didn't cancel classes, but the students all got an email. It was elective if we went to classes that day.
Gotcha.
And I went to classes, and none of my roommates did. And I was the one sitting there going, nah, I'll be fine. The whole time I'm walking to class going, oh my God. Like, when was the last time I told everyone I loved them? Is this it? And then you make it through the day and you look at your roommates and go, oh, so you were just the losers who didn't go to class? Like, I survived.
The only time that I ever used the word loser and you in the same sentence having to do with school was when you were a loser. You would come home and you'd go, oh yeah, you'd be worried about a big exam. I go, what'd you get? I got a 96. I'm like, really? You stressed me out over 4 points. Like, you suck.
You stressed me out this bad and you couldn't just get 100?
Really? What is wrong with you? If you're going to study that much, we'll just spell your name wrong. Oh,
probably.
Oh, don't get me started. Did we bring? Don't get me started. We bought masking tape, but that's another story.
I mean, listen. If I don't stress about an exam, it's not an exam, except for my boards.
But these kids today.
Yeah,
no,
these kids today have enough going on.
At Nova, your first day.
And so it's the freshman move-in, and the law school's already in session. So some of those kids were in like the library, and it was phoned in that they were in that the active shooter was in the building with the library.
I was in the office when an alert came over my phone or whatever, and I went right to CNN.com, national news. Top left corner, a video like 6 seconds long of a bunch of cops, maybe 10 cops, like, moving forward.
Full rifles.
But it was only like a 6-second video
there was
or so.
Over 100 cop cars on the campus today.
And sadly, I forgot about the whole incident.
We were coming down the Blue Route to get into Manayunk, and on the other side was
Coming up the Blue Route. Yeah.
On the other side was a police escort for the SWAT trucks leaving back to wherever they park overnight or whatever. Full sirens as the SWAT moved the other way. Like, it had been cleared, but it's the world we live in is crazy. And I think,
again, freshmen though, I feel bad because these kids are 18. There might be a couple really smart 17-year-olds that are starting college.
I mean, the DA has come down and said, the mayor has come down and said, this person will be prosecuted.
Wait a second.
To the full extent of the law.
Which mayor or DA? Because our mayor, go Eagles, EJGBC. She can't even spell Eagles, but that's Philly mayor.
But this was the mayor of Delaware County. Delco.
No, that's not mayor of Delaware County. So Bryn Mawr probably is what that is.
No,
that's not Delaware County.
They specifically said the mayor of Delaware County.
I don't think there's.
There is a mayor. We have a mayor.
Of Delco?
Yes.
The mayor of Eastwood, the chick on the show, HBO.
Different spelling of mayor.
Okay, my bad. Filmed in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's just interesting. I think kids these days don't really get to be kids because it's all so extreme. And I think back to like even being in elementary school, middle school, high school, you go through active shooter drills. You just do it. It's part of life.
You went through 9/11.
Yeah,
in grade school.
But active shooter drills within the school where they put you on lockdown, they make you get behind a desk.
That.
And we never took it seriously.
Dude.
And then me coming from I was a teacher. And I'll never forget the first time they made
Yeah.
us do an active shooter drill and they didn't tell the teachers first.
I remember you
And
telling us when you came home.
as a teacher, the first thought that goes through your mind is, all right, if I take a bullet today, how many of these kids do I save? And it's the scariest thought because you never, it's not unprovoked, but you never think that that's the thought that's going to go through your mind.
Some of these amazing hero teachers that, these school shootings that didn't happen supposedly.
Yeah.
That saved
Kids
children's
by
lives.
taking a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
And
Some of these, I feel bad that I don't remember
I'll
the teachers'
never
names.
forget being at Elwyn when we went through a real drill, not even a real drill, a real scenario because Elwyn was in the woods.
But it was planned out, though. I thought
Elwyn
you told
was
us you
in
knew
the
it was
woods.
coming.
It was a different one. Elwyn was in the woods and there was a hunter on the property trying to get deer and he had a rifle. And they didn't know why he had a rifle in the woods right
Big
next to our
property.
school. No, right next to our school.
Elwyn's a big property.
a big property, but he was in the woods right next to the school. And you're just sitting there going like, okay, here we go. I had kids in my class
Instead
that
it was just
were,
some hillbilly.
kids of police
You
officers.
want to kill a deer, drive up the blue route real fast with your,
Just, yeah.
yeah, you'll have one.
Sometimes they run right into your passenger side door. If you,
That's happened to you recently.
right into the passenger side door. What the hell
So
was
that's
that?
about the school, but not that I want to now go back and talk about food, but yeah, that whole whatever they're calling it, restaurant week.
Restaurant week
I'm
of
looking
Manayunk.
forward to it. Whether we're involved or not, people will come to see us. We'll have to come up with some couple cool winter drinks. Like you don't put in pumpkin into our margaritas.
No.
That's kind of gross.
No.
But that's what we do.
We're not making a pumpkin spice marg.
No,
Sorry,
but
ladies.
we do, we do margs. So we'll figure out some fall nonsense. You know what? Probably some type of spicy. Keep
Mm-hmm.
it warm a little bit. I mean, not that we already don't do lots of different spicy ones.
A little, yeah.
We do like all kinds of what? We do habanero. We have Fiaro brands, which is Serrano
And habanero.
We do our own jalapeno. Yeah, we plenty of our own hot versions.
Of things.
But yeah, this will be different. So this will be cool. We'll see how that goes. And again, I just kind of not long before we started coming down here, it's the 21st, and that starts. I think it's the actual second week in September. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
We signed up today in the same thing that I saw, haunted house party. So I'm going to make a big announcement right now. I haven't told the parties involved yet, but we'll tell them after the fact. So we're doing our Halloween party October 30th, Saturday night. I love that 31st is going to be Halloween. We'll do something that night. We're going to give out candy again to all the kids in the morning. That's awesome. I
love that part
They
of
were
the day.
lined up down past Shores Lane to get into us, and I love that. So we're going to do our Halloween party, as I said, the 30th. And just by coincidence, 30th is a Saturday. Our favorite haunted house is in session that weekend. So I guaranteed, I'll tell them all later, that we're going to have some of the best haunt actors ever in full costume, in the building.
Right.
And we will. We just had Skies going away
Going
party.
Away.
And a bunch of people came dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was surprised at it, but it had been so hot in the city. It wasn't hot that night, but it just had been so hot. It takes a while to bounce back from this. And now, Sky had her party, people came dressed up, and I can't wait for Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, if that's what you really want to call it, a holiday. Dressing up, doing our parties. We'll see what we're gonna do. Maybe I can work it out. I can send some of our people to their makeup room and have them get involved in some of our makeup.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Jared and Brian will hit up, and of course, our people Terry and Andrew. Love them. Well, they came out. It was so nice to see them. We had a birthday. No birthday party. We invited a few people. Mm-hmm. And of course, they came out and I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday. I just invited some people. Like I just thought this is the best way to keep it low key. No one will notice, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And of course, Terry and Andrew, You know, it's always so good to see them because I don't think I had seen them since maybe the last time they were on with us here. And, you know, they created our bathroom break segment that, God forbid, anybody ever comes on as a guest,
Don't
goes
use
to the bathroom.
It's
They
not
told
safe.
the whole story that night. When we were out of the deck, we had the VIP, the blue VIP. We had a bunch of people, and they're retelling the story, how you and I just went, what the hell's going on?
What
I don't know, you
the
know.
hell?
And then it became funny. Then Mecca,
It became, yeah.
Janet, yeah, it just became like our funny gimmick. I dare you to go to the bathroom. Johnny Boy, I just dare you all to go to the bathroom. I just do.
Johnny Boy started the bathroom break, but they
Hey.
started the bathroom break segment.
Wasn't this kind of silly and crazy today? You and I went to Young Junk, the channel page.
Right.
So they're gonna let me navigate so I know what I'm talking about. Johnny Boy is our now most watched video. How about that? He overtook Nick Vona.
He overtook Nick Vona.
And I don't know when, I don't know how long ago, but Johnny Boy is number one. And Johnny Boy's coming back on, letting the summer get over for him because
Yeah.
he's playing out constantly. But bringing that knucklehead back in, love that guy. And that was today. So we looked at that video, and how about that? And the Hogan one, people are paying attention to Hogan. Oh, that's today's news. And again, man, I kind of thought when he died,
It would all just kind of,
I thought we would be done. And then I did the stupid costume thing.
right.
And then I really thought even that was kind of the end. And I was following a story, and I'm going to myself, I don't think other people are going to be interested, whatever. But then it hit national news today. But it's been going on since he died. So he had surgery in May on his spinal, what was it called?
He had a spinal fusion.
Fusion. But what was the phoenix?
So no, he had a spinal fusion. And I think in the process of that spinal fusion, you have a nerve that comes out of your cervical spine, which is your neck, comes out of your C3, C4, C5. So your lower neck. It's called your phrenic nerve.
Right, with a PH.
Yeah,
Right.
phrenic nerve. And it's the nerve
Why do I know that?
it connects to your diaphragm and it connects your diaphragmic muscle.
So here's, and I said this 6 to 8 weeks ago. The reason no one's seeing him, my sources said he had a tube,
A vent tube.
a vent tube. Still not confirmed about that. And people saw him. He died, I think, on a Monday. I don't know, but he came home over the week. He came home like Thursday. A couple people talked to him. They say they talked to him. Who knows? These were his friends.
Right.
So they would stick up for him, and that's fine.
Right.
I believe I heard through my sources, which, as crazy as it is, I heard that he was never coming back. We're never going to see him again. That happened. I heard that surgery you're talking about affected his breathing, which is why they had to get the vent tube, whatever. So whatever happens, whether he spoke to people or not, he dies, sadly. And Brooke Hogan, his oldest child, I think she's older than Nick. I think she
Yeah.
is. So they're estranged to a degree. They had a weird relationship, but they're estranged, which is, it happens. Look, it happens with dads, daughters, dads, sons, everybody.
She came out and said, he didn't get to meet her kids.
Right.
So, yeah.
And she started yelling from the rooftop immediately, we need to do an autopsy. His wife's name, I believe, is Sky. And Brooke Hogan, the daughter, is yelling, I want an autopsy. I'll pay for it. Please don't cremate him yet. I need to get this autopsy done. And then days later, a week later, they're pressing her. Why? Well, people are telling me in the know, including people in the room when he was attended to, that everything is not as it seems. The word malpractice is now being thrown around. And it came out today, ironically enough. I had no time. It sounds like I'm on CNN all day. Came out today that he has had the autopsy. I don't think all the results.
Results aren't back yet, and so they haven't cremated him yet because of that.
And that's what the family's asking is, don't cremate him. We want the autopsy. So can you do a second autopsy on the person? Like,
I think you probably do your original autopsy, and then you can sit there and say, I don't like go deeper.
I don't agree.
Figure something else out. Yeah.
You don't get like Dr. Bodden. Ooh, isn't that the famous guy who did Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldberg? It is, I believe. That's weird.
I wasn't alive yet.
Yeah, I'm special. You get. I don't know if that was honestly him. I think it might have been. But if you get one of those really good forensic guys, you got to get permission. And I don't think the wife's giving it up. The daughter Brooke has already said, I don't want the money. I don't want to be in the will.
Right.
I feel she's got some genes in her like me. Cut off your nose to spite your face. Sometimes it's not what you mean. You're hurt. You think by doing something like that, it's going to fix the situation.
Right.
Like my mental health is crazy that way.
But she may even just be saying, I want to know what happened. Like, how do you not just want to know?
They're telling her, people are in the room because he's lived there. I don't even know where he died.
Florida.
Yeah, I know that. Was it Tampa? Because that's where he's lived for a long time. But he lived different divorces. He's moved different places.
I think so, because that's where the institute where he had the
They all know.
fusion
They know
is.
Brooke. They know Nick. They know Nick from sadly killing paralyzing the ex-soldier in the racing, street racing. But really weird. Now everybody's confirming, as you said, the autopsy was done. And the police have said the investigation is ongoing. If he just died, because they said originally cardiac arrest, everything was getting to him too much, I guess, is what would cause that. Now it's kind of weird.
Even like, you don't want to say a messed up breathing can lead to a heart attack, but if you think about, if you start hyperventilating, you start to get chest pains.
And if you're struggling to
heart
breathe,
needs oxygen.
And again, Hogan made that business in the 80s. The steroids. When you're off them, and I don't know if he's off them, I don't know what, but we've all seen people come off the gas, and your body just changes. I heard that his body had changed dramatically. I told you before, I saw a video somewhat recently. He's in the back hall of a building, and he's leaned over with his wife, and he goes, yeah, brother, before the surgery, I was walking like this. Now I'm walking upright. He's still walking with a cane, but walking better with hopefully a brighter future.
Well, again, what those surgeries do, it's a fusion. He had a fusion, which literally, if your spine is going like this, where my knuckles bent, it pops it up. You have no choice but to stand upright.
It's a lot more common now. Edge, Kurt Angle, lots of people.
You don't have a choice but to stand upright. It's a lot more common, I think, now in that business for the neck spinal fusions. That cervical spine is very fragile. Like most doctors won't.
Look how long Edge came back for. He's still working. He retired as the champ. He won the belt, and all of a sudden they told him on a Monday morning, the doctor said, you got to get neck fusion, spinal fusion, and you're done. Had to literally go on TV, give up the belt, retired for a couple of years, came back, and has been back now and boring people for 5 or 6 years.
I hate to say there's chronic pain there, because a fusion doesn't fix the pain. Again, being in where I was in Memphis for my one clinical for that rehab setting, I saw spinal fusions. I saw the recovery where you roll like a log to do everything. Yeah. You can't bend. You can't, because your spine literally went from this to boing straight.
One of what I feel is the greatest athlete ever had this. Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medal winner, WWE champion. He probably needs help getting up out of a chair now. And it's not just from taking all the bumps. It's from he broke it a few times. UFC was interested in him.
The first time you break your neck, you're not supposed to go back to the physicality. Somebody like his
neck, which was just so thick and
giant sausage of just a neck.
Yeah. I mean,
like you don't have a jawline when your neck is that just.
So do you think back to Hogan, could it have swollen? Could it have gotten inflamed? Cut off his airway?
Here's the thing.
To create a heart attack?
your spine is a straw. And through that straw runs all these nerves.
Yeah.
Your nerves have to go through your spine to disperse where they go. So if he had a spinal fusion at his C3, C4, C5, his phrenic nerve runs through that. So if they go in there with a laser, and your phrenic nerve is one of your outer nerves in that straw. It's one of the ones that goes around the edge. So if they hit the laser just right between your two cervical spinal pieces, it can nick that nerve. So when you nick that nerve is now sending impeded messages to your diaphragm to inflate and constrict and inflate and constrict. So
it just makes everything harder to do.
Right. So if your diaphragm isn't getting all the signals it needs, you're not breathing right. And when you're not breathing right, again, you start to hyperventilate.
And in the body,
you
don't know what kind of shape he was in, sadly.
So yes, if he had that spine and the laser hits, or he had that spinal fusion, the laser hits just right through your vertebrae, nicks that phrenic nerve, that can cause everything that led to his demise.
There's something interesting about the announcement of his death. One of his business partners and closest friends is Eric Bischoff. Mike Johnson from PW Insider, a wrestling website, and he's a legit guy, gets true scoops. He's the one that called Eric Bischoff at 6 a.m. Arizona time to tell him it's not confirmed, but it's confirmed. Hogan's dead. So if somebody like Mike Johnson is the one that told Eric Bischoff that, it'll come out. Mike Johnson will have gotten sources. I don't know if they're waiting to be proper, for the family, but I think it's going to come out, and we'll see. We'll see if it was all that nonsense. We'll see. Did he just have a heart attack? We talked about him having leukemia that no one knew about, in the past.
And sometimes it's just a buildup of medical maladies. And then you add something that just isn't right into the mix, and everything is a perfect storm of.
Well, I'm glad
it's my time.
I'm glad his daughter is
fighting
advocating,
for him.
for all of this. Because at first I thought she was just full of BS. Like, dude, leave him alone. You're just mad that you're not getting, all the money or something. And then I found out she's not in the will. She didn't want to be in the will. But wait. So Hogan, Will, talking about lots of money. Let's talk WWE for a second, since I'm supposed to do all this talking to some of these, topics. WWE has decided to leave Peacock. I believe it was announced at some point next year. I think it had about a year. I happen to only pay $4.95 for Peacock because of my Comcast package. There's some movies on Peacock. There's normally one, what we used to call pay-per-view, now they call them PLEs. There's always one, maybe two per month, depending on how the weekends fall. And pay-per-views used to be, WrestleMania was always like 80 or 90, but pay-per-views were like 40 to 50 bucks. Right. But now you're paying for Peacock and everything was cool. Then they announced, we're going to ESPN Plus, where you're going to have to pay suddenly 30, no pun intended, plus $30.
Right.
For ESPN Plus. So little Joey at home, he doesn't understand all these things are going on. He's going to go to watch Peacock and Mom, after the show's not on. Oh, and to go to it, and then they're going to find out, oh no, we can't watch it anymore. The only thing that's staying on Peacock is Saturday Night Main Events. But we have a year. Like, they're not changing for a year. Oh, wait a second. So now they announced that last week. Yesterday they announced, we lied. We're leaving immediately.
September.
We're leaving after this next show. I think it's the one in Paris. Yeah, it's the one in Paris. Oh, let me tell you what. Now I get the gimmick. So it's a free show. They're going to Paris, doing whatever they're doing, and it's on Peacock. AEW, one of their rivals, is running their big show, their WrestleMania. WWE, in all of its infinite wisdom, has decided to run against it. Like, so you're noticing them. So they're going to kill them. But to make sure that they're going to kill them,
They make it free or freer.
Absolutely not. It's the first one that you're paying for.
Oh, it's the first one you're paying for.
But here's what you're going to get. You're going to get Brock Cena. You're going to probably get Cody, Drew McIntyre. You could get, I think they're going to save Seth and Roman. They really need to drag that out till WrestleMania, but I don't think they'll be able to last that long. They'll have Roman do something in the meantime with one of Seth's people, Braun Breaker or the other big kid. But yeah, all of a sudden you're going to start paying $30 in the next month, and they're going to try to load up that card with Cena versus Brock.
Yeah, but again, it's, as someone who paid for ESPN Plus for a lot of years, we had the great bundle. We had Disney Plus, we had Hulu, and we had ESPN Plus. We rarely used ESPN Plus. You use Hulu. I use Disney Plus and Hulu. But it was a great bundle because every once in a while it was like, oh, I can go see this random 30 for 30 on ESPN Plus that I want to see.
Tom Brady thing that was only on Plus at first, I think, or something like that.
Or the Magic Johnson thing that was only on. It's some random little thing that you're all right, this. If I pay $1 a month for ESPN Plus, it doesn't bother me that I can see this one thing. Now, and they've raised the price of that bundle. They raised that bundle $10 from the time I started buying into it.
Yeah.
So I dropped ESPN Plus off that bundle and picked up Max, I think, or one of the other streaming ones that made far more sense for us. But now you expect people to pay for the subscription to ESPN Plus.
$30 a month. $360.
Plus that extra.
A year,
Because I don't think there's a bundle I don't think there's a package that's $30. I think you have to buy a package and then buy a WWE package on there.
I don't even know.
Because from what I've seen recently, there's no $30 package on ESPN Plus. And most times they don't even sell you ESPN Plus separately. You have to buy into a bundle. And then you probably have to add another $30.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Again, the bundle makes more sense for anyone. You're going to get Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, Max, whatever, any three of them together. That bundle makes a lot of sense until then you have to tack on another $30. And then you think about, little Johnny at home who wants to watch the pay-per-view. Oh, wait, do they still have to pay for more money for a pay-per-view on there?
Or doesn't even know that it's
switched. And like I said, at the gym at work, we now watch.
We'll get into that later.
It's like being at home. I watch sports in the morning, I watch the news in the afternoon, and I watch AMC movies later in the afternoon. But again, that whole thing was announced on ESPN this morning. And I was like, I don't even want to hear this right now.
Well, so let's stay on the business side of this. So WWE is going to be, I guess, obviously ESPN Plus is going to pay them more money than Peacock is. Their parent company, TKO, must be so proud. Who, if you really look at it, that's who our ultimate boss is. Not really, but, if you just got the ladder. So they're so proud and they're going to do that. Where are they going to get money? Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, no warning, and on a good note, before all this WWE news came out, UFC decides to do what?
Make it more affordable for everyone else to watch UFC.
Free. What did they get paid?
Free for me and free for you.
Do you know what they got paid?
$7.7 billion.
Billion with a B.
So,
7.7.
But also, okay, so you have to think about it this way, though. Because they are now free pay-per-views, but they went to a streaming platform that is not as heavily utilized as other platforms. So they're now driving consumers to a platform that people don't usually pay for, Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive than most platforms.
I get it.
So there's got to be a kickback in there somewhere. You guys just got 1,000 new subscribers at $20 a month.
UFC 30 years ago was worth nothing in Denver, Colorado. UFC 1, UFC 2, Hoist Gracie, people, wore a gi. Nothing like it is today, okay? So they sold, I don't even know how long ago that was now, 7-8 years, UFC sold for 2-point-something billion. Everyone was like, are you kidding me? Then you look at all the investor sheets, Tom Brady, Marky Mark, all these people, and then you find out that a lot of them have short calls on their notices. So Brady invested a believe $2 million. But he wanted to be paid back within, I don't know the exact, so I'm not going to make it up even. We'll say 5 years. Ain't being paid back because there's no great pay-per-views of UFC right now because there's no Brock Lesnar's, there's no Conor McGregor, there's no John Jones, as we joked about, are you the GOAT? There's some great names that people like me who follow the sport religiously know. But you go, oh, I've heard him mention that name.
Right. There's not the names that I could just sit there and go, oh, yeah, UFC, and they're in this division. They're like, I used to be able to do that with so much of UFC.
But they were able to sell pay-per-views back then. You had names. Brock was one of the first people that broke 1 million pay-per-views constantly. Connor did it. GSP, as great as he wasn't selling that many. Not that it wasn't selling that many, but he wasn't selling as many as them.
Carrying them like
even
the
though
other
he's
ones were.
One of the greatest fighters ever.
Right.
So, and Randy Couture, he was Captain America, but he was boring. I loved him. He's a wrestler. But
he wanted to get you on the mat and
ground you out, pound you out, and a nice guy and all of that. But he didn't have the flair of Tito Ortiz,
right? Who
would beat you, pretend to dig your grave, pretend to drag your body into the grave, and pretend to shovel the dirt back on. When that shit was going on, there was a guy named Guy Metzger who was with, was he with the Shamrocks back then? No, I'm missing a guy. Not Guy Metzger, it'll come to me later. Who was so pissed off. They're like, this is not what this sport is about. It's about jiu-jitsu. It wasn't even jiu-jitsu so much back then.
Right.
It was a little bit more Muay Thai. Striking wasn't what it is now. Where now you got to have boxing skills, not just striking. You got to have jiu-jitsu. You got to have wrestling. You got to have some grappling. You got to have it all. But so all those other people's notes started to come due. Brady, all of those guys that you used to see sitting ringside. So they had to start paying them off. And now they're not making money. They're profitable to a degree, but not like they were. There was a clothing line called Affliction. They had a part of that back in the day.
I remember that.
All the Affliction? Everyone had all that nonsense. And now 7.7. So WWE, people don't notice that, oh yeah, now you're getting that free. Or WWE, now you're paying, but now you get UFC free. It's the same boss. The money is going to the same pockets.
Almost just trying to pick up viewers on UFC because it's free.
Dude.
WWE already has a bigger following in the past 10 years than when I was growing up, it was big,
following is
but
dropping.
It wasn't. So you're trying to pick up the following by making it free. They have a high enough following so we can make them pay a little bit. We might drop a few, but they're all gonna. It's the scales.
Here's the comparison in the LaRocca world, and this is exact. Everybody knows chicken has been so expensive for pandemic. Wings especially have been so expensive since the pandemic. Paying $140 or so, sometimes more for 40 pounds, okay? Thighs were cheaper, okay? All of a sudden, wings come down in price. And that day, I think I spent 15 minutes dancing, and like an idiot, I didn't look at the price of thighs.
And I had to tell you at one point, do not buy any more wings, please. It's like when we're at home and I have to tell mommy, don't buy any more hot dogs.
That's because I do wings for $1.
Exactly.
Every Monday, we do $1 margaritas, $1 wings. You can't beat that from 4 to 6.
And we were flying through the wings.
Still
but I was
are.
just sitting, and we are, but I was just sitting there going, if I have to put away one more case of wings, I'm going to lose my mind.
I really only carry 120 pounds at a time.
Yeah. I can only carry 2 cases at a time, please. Don't make me carry 3.
That's exactly what WWE's doing with UFC. One price has dropped, and now the other one has risen. And it's a balance. It's all TKO, the parent company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Triple H, Paul Levesque, Stephanie had no say in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they took their input because, Paul's a smart guy. Stephanie's been in the business since she was a child. UFC, you still got Dana fronting it, and now they're talking about 4th of July. Do you know where that card's going to be?
Where?
On the White House lawn. I shit you not. And people didn't believe it at first. Who goes to more UFC shows that you know in the last year than anybody else? Trump. Like he's there at all the big shows. So they're doing a show on the lawn, and everyone wants to be on it because it'll raise so much money for the fighters.
I'm sorry. Do we really need that on
Why
the
not?
lawn of the White House?
Why not? Again, we're not going to get into politics, but the White House isn't quite what it was back in. Here's the segue.
Oh, sweet baby
The White
Jesus.
House isn't quite what it was back in 1969 when our president, Richard Milhouse Nixon, picked up a telephone and called the astronauts who were busy on the moon. How's that for a segue? How's that? But you want to talk about, this, that.
Sounds like send me to the moon.
We can't. We don't have the technology. Let me ask you something.
Send me to
So
the
we
moon.
sent people to the moon all those years ago, but we didn't even have call waiting. But he could call them from a rotary phone, I guess. We didn't even have caller ID because we didn't know how to even spell caller ID back then. But this guy calls the astronauts. Oh, I'm not done. So how did that happen? Because I drive up and down some streets and I lose cell signal. But this guy could call the moon from a rotary phone. People who watch this podcast don't even know what a rotary phone is. You used to have to spin the wheel, make the deal. 1610. And some of the phones would take forever to go back. And then you got push buttons. I don't even know how I got on this moon nonsense, but I'm there. Let's talk about astronauts just trying not to discuss it, trying not to lie about it. If you look at some of the press conferences the weeks afterwards, they're uncomfortable. But how did we land on the moon? And we didn't have a microwave until 1985 or whatever, 90. How did that happen?
I got nothing for you
So
on
wait,
that.
then in all our infinite wisdom, we somehow lost and or burned all the significant data that we used to get there. And then people say, well, let's just recreate it. Can't do it. It's too hard. I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
like I used my scientific brain to talk about like the body and the phrenic nerve. I got nothing about microwaves.
Name
and
me one phrenic nerve that has ever walked on the moon.
sweet baby Jesus.
Nope, incorrect.
This phrenic nerve's about to walk out the door.
Is this where I pull out the masking tape? Like, are you trying to get me in trouble? 'Cause But seriously, the moon. Hey, what did the stars look like from there?
E.T.
Oh, they
walked
were
on the
big and
moon.
beautiful. You can't see stars from the moon. Did you see? First of all, I'm pretty sure Terry Leahy is too young to have been on this mission. But when you look at that thing on the strings that they said took off from the moon, the lunar module, how's the camera on the moon moving to follow that? Please tell me remote control, because we didn't even have remote control cars back then. I was there. I was a kid. I'm just saying, I don't know why I'm on this. You know why? Because I get pissed off at my cell signal. And then they go, it happens to
Dude,
everybody.
My cell signal at work, I get a text like 3 hours after people send me. And sometimes I get texts from you and it's like 7 texts that I've missed in a day. And I'm like, is this all at once? Like, is this brain literally exploding,
No,
firing
you want
off
the
at
inside
me?
truth?
What?
I was at the moon.
You were on the moon? Okay.
Yep.
How
But-
old were you?
No, today when I texted you all those
Oh,
texts, I
okay.
did just because now we just teletransport,
We teleport. Got it.
teleport, whatever.
Teleport. You put on your teleportation cap.
What did we do back then? Oh,
Does
okay, now my head's gonna hurt. So when that thing was lifted from the strings, and we'll get into the director, Stanley Kubrick, later. But when that module was lifted, how come there was no fire? No, the word begins with E, whatever. And with supposedly the
emissions,
the moon's surface, they would have put craters in the moon.
The moon has craters.
No,
How do you know they're not made from a rocket?
If that thing had fallen off the strings onto the set that it was supposed to be, it would have just landed there. And people would have said, cut, and would try it again. But in the footage that they say, there's no movement on the ground from that thing. Just, was it gravity just takes it up into the air like that suddenly? How's that work?
There's no gravity on the moon.
How's that work? What you gonna do, brother, when you can't land on the moon? Dude, no microwaves, no cell phones, remote control cars.
So maybe they hadn't harnessed the power of microwaves, because that's actually the reason the microwave is called a microwave is because in the universe we have electric waves called microwaves. So the microwave utilizes microwaves to make the microwave to heat your food. Radio waves use radio waves.
I didn't hear anything you just said because you're not listening to my nuclear bomb.
I was studiously ignoring you.
I know you were.
I'm good at that.
You think that we had the technology to do microwaves back then? Even though we were able to make a whole country surrender with 2 bombs dropping?
Listen, some people are really smart but really dumb, and maybe it just took a kind of smart dumb person to harness
microwaves. I believe
microwaves.
every country in the world says that they are a smarter country than Japan, than we are currently. As we speak.
If we
I'm not saying that's how I feel.
If we disband the Department of Education, every country in the world might be smarter than us soon.
Back to Linda McMahon, and here we are. Wheatley vodka, Corazon now on.
Please tell
family.
Linda McMahon to
Fireball.
not disband the Department of Education. Okay, I've said it once. I'll say it twice. Parents today are really dumb, and therefore they're going to raise really dumb kids, and our country can't afford the dumb kids.
The parents are already dumb.
Exactly.
It's too late.
Parents today are really dumb, and so if we
some
say
of them are so stupid.
If we say education starts at home, well, let's also then just say lack of education starts at home.
I watch TikTok. I know how stupid.
Dumb parents raise dumb kids. Like, our country can't afford that. The next leaders of the world can't be that freaking dumb. They just can't. They just can't.
Who is?
They
Well,
just can't. Send me to the moon if that's what's going to happen.
We can't. That's the problem.
Okay, put me in a rocket ship that's going to explode if that's what's going to happen.
So.
We cannot disband the Department of Education.
The astronauts from the Challenger, which you are referencing.
Jesus. Let's go back to Linda McMahon. That felt like a more fun conversation.
That there is a doppelganger for everybody that was on the Challenger.
That and
Christina McCullough, all those people.
Yeah.
And some of them are teachers. Do I believe that they died? I do. I do believe.
There's doppelgangers from the astronauts from the Challenger. There's doppelgangers. Well.
Yeah, but they also refuse to acknowledge. As soon as they say, "Hey, aren't you Kaitlyn True from the Challenger?" They go and they turn and walk away. Maybe it's because they've been given grief for so many years. But and I do believe that was a true thing that happened. I believe, sadly, that some of them were alive till they impacted the water. No, I do believe that. I don't think it was the O-ring that caused that.
Speaking of the Challenger, what was it called? The submersible for the Titanic.
Yeah,
where it came out that he killed those people intentionally.
Absolutely. He wanted to be famous. He
knew.
Wanted to be famous. He wanted to die and be part of the Titanic's legacy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He wanted to be synonymous with the Titanic, and therefore he knew his submersible would implode. And he took all those innocent people who paid
including the child.
Tens
of
thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I believe it was $1 million each. I
So, okay.
I think could have been $500,000 for those that are going to
where did all those millions go?
But
then?
it wasn't thousands. It was minimum.
I was going to say hundreds of thousands.
It was minimum $500,000. I believe it was $1 million per person.
So he took all those people down there, including a child, with their parent, who then had to sit there and go like
his father,
who then had to sit there and go like, probably in his dying moments, go like, whole, am I technically responsible
I know
for
so much
killing my
about
son?
this.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, he
Like,
wanted to be. So they
he
were
wanted to
making
be
a TV show.
synonymous.
They were making a show. What do you call that? Begins with a D, ends with a Y. Come on, just say it.
Dairy?
Yeah, that's it.
A
They were
dairy?
doing that show. Yep, they were doing a dairy, and this guy is filming it. Now this happened in what 2023, I believe. So they were filming in 2021, and they were showing the hall. They were showing the erosion. They were showing you could hear sounds. Like they knew it was going to happen. Okay, and the guy says to his producers, I don't think we should show this because this guy is going to die.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be having been glorified.
Yeah.
This. And they didn't think he was doing it on purpose. That wasn't the point back then. It wasn't because the new show came out. It's a Netflix special.
He
It's
just
like a
wanted to
3-part
be
special.
synonymous with the Titanic, but everyone knew it was not going to be a success. And then it's almost like, are we liable if we show that he's like, we know he's not going to survive, but he knew he wasn't going to survive.
Did you see his wife's video
I did
of
not.
when they imploded?
No.
Oh, there's a video. It's her, an older dude, 50s, 60, whatever. He's sitting in the chair. She's radioing them. Okay, drop 2 weights. That was the last word she ever said, supposedly to him. But he was already gone. And some other dudes walking in and out of the cabin. They're on a boat, and they're in contact with them.
They're on the boat that dropped the submersible.
Yeah, she happens to look like our neighbor Joanne to a degree, which is kind of interesting. Just because I said to her, she looks familiar. So she looks at the screen, and the camera view is this way of her as she's looking at the screen, okay? And all of a sudden, you hear pop, and she smiles. She looks over at the other guy. She goes, "What was that?" The other guy comes walking into the cabin, and he looks at the dude sitting in the chair. And I swear, now that you know what happened, you think that they looked at each other and said, "Uh-oh. We know what just happened."
We know what just happened.
She turns around and she says, tighten whatever, drop 2 weights. And then they don't show any more of the video. That was his wife. And she didn't know that's what it was.
Hearing him die.
Those 2 dudes knew what it was.
Yeah.
And it happened early on. Like we all knew. Not we all do. That's a lie.
Well, we all
They didn't.
when they lost contact, we all knew what happened.
We knew. But they were saying that now it's a rescue mission,
Well, and that's the thing. It's like when they lost contact, we all knew what had happened or what had the potential to happen. But also, when you're already that deep in the sea, is it ever
no pun
not?
intended, yeah.
Is it ever not just a recovery
So
mission?
they also said that it imploded and it was all just tiny, tiny pieces. Absolutely not. They found the nose cone of it. I mean, it's big. It's the size of you. They found a sleeve of one of the guys.
But is it
hear me out,
relatively speaking?
What?
Relatively speaking, are they tiny pieces?
No, they found these pieces. They recovered these. They found the guy's pen in his sleeve. Like, they were all told everything was imploded, the instant gone. That's not what happened. If you watch the show, they had to drag the nose cone up because it's big. And everything makes you believe that it's just written, and it did go that fast. Like, no pain.
Right.
They didn't know. But there's like body parts, apparently, not whole arms or legs.
Right.
But I'm thinking, I watched a bunch of morticians. There's a mortician show on Young Junk. I should have asked them what happens. I watched some chick on TikTok, and she said, "Well, here's what happens to your body, during an implosion." But back to you bringing that up, that guy wanted to be famous. He wanted to be with the legacy of Titanic, and now he is.
Yep, he is.
Because and they said now, had they known, had he come, they would have charged him. Had he survived, they would have charged him
with murder.
Yeah.
He wanted to be synonymous with the Titanic so bad that he took innocent lives.
They said you can't use whatever material for that hull. You can't use that. Oh no, I can. Watch.
It's one thing to know that you're gonna kill yourself on the way down, but to take all those innocent
people out like that.
The innocent
sucks.
people who think they're just along for a really great ride to see the wreckage of the Titanic, which also kind of a morbid, really great ride. kind of morbid, kind of screwed up
We
if
didn't
you
even
think about
find
it.
that until 30 years ago. I don't even know when we found
I mean, yeah,
Titanic.
yeah.
I don't even know if it was that long ago.
Currents and all that.
Like, yeah.
People are like, no, it should have just fallen to the bottom and stayed there. Have you ever heard, like, think about what's going on right now. Hurricane Erin. The rip currents right now are strong enough to take anyone out to sea and get rid of your body
Keeping them
forever.
off the beaches. And today,
Exactly.
as we film,
Beaches were closed.
that's the big story right now.
Beaches were closed today.
Is Hurricane Erin.
Yep. The waters were closed yesterday. The whole beach was closed today. But it's again, rip currents are so strong. The currents of the ocean is a different animal that we can't even study fully.
I tell everybody, don't go in the ocean anymore. Just like going to the zoo, taking a bunch of kids. Don't feed the sharks. Because they're just getting closer and closer.
It's the sharks again.
Dude, you know there's going to be a shark coming up right out of the water over here at some point.
The sharks are not going to come out of the Manayunk Canal.
You don't know that.
It's not going to be Jaws Manayunk edition.
You don't know that. Well,
you know what?
The nonsense that goes on in this town sometimes.
I'm jumping in the Schuylkill.
That we're left out of. No one will notice because they won't. If we died by, here's what's funny.
Did you just tell me no one would miss me if I died?
That's not what I said. I said no one would notice. NDC would not notice. There's certain elements in Manayunk that would not notice if we fell off the face of the planet. They just wouldn't notice.
Okay, let's say there's certain people who no one would notice.
That's
kind of messed up.
Our staff would, because they're like, are we getting paid?
Yeah. Wait, when's payday again?
Isn't tomorrow payday?
Hello, did anyone submit the payroll, please?
Yeah.
From beyond the grave.
So, ending on such a high note of this guy killing all those people, I won't even get into.
Please, dear God, don't.
Are UFOs in the ocean? Like, are we alone?
UFOs
But
in the
we'll
ocean?
save that for another time. Dude, I got thoughts.
Oh my God. Well, they can't be flying objects if they're in the ocean. They can't fly. They would have to be unidentified boats.
No, you haven't. Have you seen the Tic Tac?
No, I don't have
So
TikTok.
that was recorded. No, it's a UFO called the Tic Tac, and the Navy recorded the video of it. The where it is.
Okay, but is it flying or is it in the water?
They couldn't even keep track of it.
Okay, but the whole thing with the UFO is
No, there's things that
unidentified.
they think are coming out of the water.
Okay, but the whole
other
thing
than
with
sharks.
the whole thing with a UFO is unidentified flying object. But if it's in the water, then it's an unidentified sailing object. And if it's under the water, then it's like an unidentified submersible object. Like, come on now, get your terms straight.
So we're going to end this episode on this note with your underwater
You hate
nonsense.
me for that one.
No, but yesterday,
ET
ass
phone home.
backwards, I watched The Meg 2, which is a horrible movie. Then I watched The Meg, which I love, just because, I'm into big sharks because they're going to kill us at some point. And they're in the ocean. At first, I thought they might have eaten that submersible. I'm going, you don't know. And you still don't know if they just took a big bite of it and then it imploded because it took a bite. Well, are you going to find shark teeth down there? You don't know. Are they going to tell us? You don't know. They might have found the alien paw, which is the greatest alien movie ever.
What? I've met one shark in my life that I like, and it was Rad dressed like a shark.
Yeah, that's a dog, and he's a knucklehead.
And he was
didn't
a
know
shark.
better.
He bit. He had teeth, and he used them.
Yeah,
Jaws.
not like these sharks. So, I love you. Thank you for doing this. And once again, I didn't mean to get into all the Hogan stuff, but that was a good story because it's a legit news story. Yeah, how interesting is that? Just what's going on there. So we'll be back. We got some cool guests coming up. I have a super special guest coming up. Might even just do a solo show. We'll see. Or not a solo show, a duo show. Give you a night off. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Any final thing you want to say to me on air before I come across this table at you?
Love you.
Liar.
Hey now.
Deuces.
Young Junk!